My sister's scream hit me like a slap. Choose me or them now. Her ultimatum hung in the air, a guillotine ready to sever our family's fragile threads. I'm Alex, 24, the quiet one in our chaotic household. My sister, Lena, 26, is the storm, always loud, always demanding, always right. Or so she thinks. We grew up in a modest suburban home, where love was abundant but patience was thin. Our parents, Mom and Dad, were high school sweethearts who built a life on hard work and harder rules. Lena, though, never fit their mold. She was the rebel, the one who'd sneak out at 16, blast music at 3 a.m., and argue over breakfast about living her truth. Me? I was the peacemaker, cleaning up her messes, smoothing over her fights. Until last week, when her ultimatum shattered everything. It started with a fight over money. Lena had been crashing at home after quitting her third job in a year. She'd promised to pay rent, but her freelance artist gigs barely covered her coffee runs. Mom and Dad, fed up, gave her a deadline. Get a job or move out by month's end. Lena didn't take it well. She stormed into my room that night, her eyes wild, her voice sharp as a blade. You're either with me, Alex, or you're with them. If you don't back me up, I'm done with you. Her words stung, not because they were new but because they were final. She'd drawn a line, and I was forced to pick a side. I didn't answer her right away. I couldn't. My throat tightened, memories flooding back. Lena teaching me to ride a bike, sneaking me candy when I was grounded, laughing until we cried over stupid movies. But those moments felt distant now, buried under years of her chaos. She'd changed, or maybe I had. Either way, her ultimatum wasn't just a demand, it was a betrayal. She was asking me to betray our parents, the ones who'd sacrificed everything for us, or lose her forever. I lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling, my heart a battlefield of loyalty and resentment. The next morning I made my choice. I didn't confront Lena. I didn't yell or plead. Instead I acted. While she was out networking, code for scrolling her phone at a cafe, I slipped into her room. Clothes spilled from her closet, sketchbooks littered the floor, and half-empty energy drinks cluttered her desk. It was a shrine to her defiance. I grabbed a suitcase from the attic and started packing. Shirts, jeans, her favorite boots, everything went in, folded with a precision she'd never appreciate. I didn't stop to think. I couldn't afford to feel. When the suitcase was full, I dragged it to the garage, tucking it behind Dad's old tool rack, where it wouldn't be found unless someone looked hard. Then I stacked her art supplies, her precious paints and brushes in a box and hid it under a tarp. It wasn't revenge. It was survival. When Lena came home, she didn't notice right away. She was too busy arguing with Mom in the kitchen, her voice rising like a siren. You can't control me. I'm not your puppet. Mom's response was calm but firm. Lena, you're 26. It's time to grow up. Dad chimed in, his tone heavier. No job, no rent, no stay. That's final. Lena's face twisted and she spun toward me, expecting backup. Alex, tell them they're being unfair. I froze, my pulse hammering. This was the moment she'd forced me into. I took a breath and said, They're right, Lena. You can't keep doing this. Her eyes widened, then narrowed, betrayal flashing across her face. You're choosing them, she spat. Fine. You're dead to me. She stormed upstairs, slamming her door so hard a picture frame fell in the hall. I waited, heart pounding, for her to notice her stuff was gone. Took an hour. Her scream echoed through the house. Where's my stuff? She tore through her room, then the living room, her panic growing. Alex, what did you do? I met her gaze, calm as I could manage. I packed it. It's safe. When you're ready to talk, I'll tell you where. Her face flushed red, tears brimming, but she didn't hit me or scream again. She just stood there, silent like a storm that had run out of wind. That night, Mom and Dad called a family meeting minus Lena, who'd locked herself in her room. They laid out their plan. They were revoking her access to the family car, her allowance, everything. She needs to learn, Dad said, his voice heavy with regret. We've enabled her too long. Mom nodded, her eyes glistening. We love her, Alex, but love isn't enough anymore. I nodded, but inside I was crumbling. I'd hidden Lena's things, taken her power away, but it didn't feel like victory. It felt like I'd buried a piece of our family. Days passed and Lena withdrew. She barely spoke, barely ate. She'd shuffle to the kitchen, grab a granola bar and retreat. I checked the garage daily, half expecting her to find her stuff, but she didn't. Maybe she was too proud to look, or maybe she knew it was a lost cause. I started to doubt myself. Had I gone too far? Was I punishing her for being herself? But then I'd remember her ultimatum, her demand to choose, and my resolve hardened. She'd forced my hand. I wasn't the villain here. A week later, everything unraveled. Lena cornered me in the hallway, her voice low and venomous. "I know you hid my stuff, Alex. You think you're clever, but you're just a coward." I didn't flinch. "You gave me no choice, Lena. You can't keep holding us hostage." Her eyes searched mine looking for weakness, but I held firm. That's when she broke. Tears spilled down her cheeks and she whispered, "I just wanted you to fight for me." My heart cracked, but I didn't back down. "I did, Lena. Every day. But you don't get to dictate how." She left that night. Not with a suitcase or a plan, just her phone, her wallet, and a backpack. She didn't say goodbye. Mom sobbed in the kitchen, Dad stared at the wall, and I stood in the garage, staring at her hidden belongings. I'd won, hadn't I? I'd stood up for myself, for our parents, for what was right. But the house felt emptier than ever. Lena's chaos had been a kind of glue, holding us together in its own messy way. Now, without it, we were just three people rattling around in a too-quiet home. Weeks turned into months. Lena didn't call, didn't text. I heard through a friend she was couchsurfing, chasing her art dreams in the city. I kept her stuff hidden, a secret I carried like a stone in my chest. Mom and Dad tried to move on, but I saw the worry in their eyes, the way they'd pause at her old room. I started to wonder, was I wrong to pack her things? Should I have fought harder to keep her here, even if it meant enabling her? The questions gnawed at me, but I had no answers. One night I couldn't take it anymore. I dragged Lena's suitcase and box out of the garage, setting them in her room exactly as they were. I left a note. "I'm sorry. Come home when you're ready." I don't know if she'll ever see it. I don't know if she'll forgive me, or if I'll forgive myself. But I do know family isn't about winning or losing, it's about holding on, even when it hurts. What would you have done? Was I right to stand my ground? Or did I push my sister too far? Share your thoughts on family loyalty and where justice lies in this mess.